morning, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sarah. I'm a high school biology teacher and today's going to be a day in my life. Today is Wednesday, March 4th, and it is 2 days before spring break. And it's also the end of our 9 weeks this Friday, so I have a lot of grading and tasks I need to finalize before the end of our 9 weeks and getting a week off. So right now it is 7 a.m., which means my first kids are coming in about 5 minutes. So I need to prep my classroom for my first class, which is my level biology. Today they are taking a test, so I'm just going to write how long they have to study before we have to open the test, and then put what they need to do after the test on the board. And I think that's everything for right now. So I'm going to go start doing all of those things, and I will definitely check in with y'all after my first hour because that will be my planning period. So I wrote on the board what I want them to do today, but I'm also just going to pull up some simple music in the background for them. I actually found one video that is 8 hours with no mid-roll ads, so I can put it on at the start of the day and let it play all day, which is very nice. And then we obviously, I've mentioned this before, we watched Jackie and Shadow, the Eagles in Big Bear Park, so I have them up on the board now. So Jackie laid another egg, so she's actually been on the nest. So yes, so you can see there's Jackie and Shadow and everything they need to do, and the bell just rung. So I'm gonna go open my door and I'm going to have first hour, which is for 90 minutes, and I will check back in after that. I got all of this grading done last hour while the kids were testing. They did pretty well on the test, which is always exciting. But I, of course, do have a few failures. So I need to call their parents and say, here is their last option to get points back, to pass this 9 weeks, or just like, kind of like they're failing and I'm sorry, but like this is it. So I need to make some phone calls for that, and then I'll check back in after I make these parent phone calls, which I always dread making parent phone calls, and then I would say 98% of the time the parents are always very receptive and happy that I called them. So it's like I make myself get all worked up for parent calls for no good reason. So I'm going to call some parents and say, hey, here's their last option and stuff. And I have to log all of that in our system that we use, that I did actually communicate with parents about grades and such. So I need to make my little short list of who's failing, what their recovery options are, and then call. I just made 7 phone calls to parents. I only had 2 answer, and one of them only spoke Spanish, so I had to send the email with what I was trying to say. Let's set y'all down. But it is now 9:17, so that took about 20-ish minutes of calling, and that was just one class. So I can't call for my other level class until tomorrow when they submit their last assignments and their test. But for my honors classes, I have to make 1 more phone call. Yesterday I made 3. So I just need to make 1 more phone call for today, and then I'm going to put all the rest of this into our system saying that I called all these people and I did my due diligence. But yes, so let's do our last phone call for the honors students and then import all of this information into our system. It being the end of the 9 weeks and me accomplishing all my phone calls, I'm treating myself to a Diet Dr. Pepper. Ooh. It is cold this time. Last time I got a drink from the machine, it was room temperature hot. So, got this one, and let's check my box. Got some work from the box. All right, so I'm back at my desk, and I'm going to go and log all of those phone calls and emails that I just sent showing that I did it. And then I'm actually going to find my laptop wherever. I think it's right here. We're gonna get my laptop and we are going to play Bridgerton on the side because the new season just dropped and I need to rewatch seasons 1 through 3 in order to watch the new season. So I'm rewatching all of that in my free time. So we're going to pull up this, and actually the school blocks Netflix, so I'm going to have to put my hotspot on so that I can watch it on my laptop. Yeah, so we're gonna watch Bridgerton and we're going to input all of this data into the system. And the good thing is, because it's the end of the 9 weeks, I don't have much to do. I need to figure out what I'm doing with my level kids on Friday, because Friday is like, we teach on a block schedule, so day 1 is red, day 2 is blue. And so red days is the first time I do the lesson, and blue days is the second time I do the lesson, and it repeats. So this week we have a red day on Friday, and the following Monday when we get back from spring break is the matching lesson. So it's such an odd day of having to teach something new the day before break. So I need to figure out what I'm doing. Exactly. My brain just can't right now. So I'm gonna start small, insert contact info into the system, and watch Bridgerton. That is what I am doing right now. And time check, it's 9:30. And I have students coming into my classroom for what we call Eagle's Nest. It's basically remediation. That starts at 10:22. So I'll have some kids coming in here to do makeup tests and makeup quizzes with me, because they want to obviously finish out their grades higher too. So, yes. Oh my gosh, that was very tedious, but I got them all done. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I did 10 different parent contact forms, and that is all the honors and all of my red day level kids. So I still need to do blue day level kids because they're taking their test tomorrow, and how I do level is all of their graded work for the unit gets turned in on the day of the test, and I sit and I grade it while they're taking the test. So I don't really know their standing until the day of the test. So I need to wait for them tomorrow, and then I'll have to make those calls tomorrow. And yes, that's it for the grades right now, and it is now 9:52. So that took 20 minutes to fill in 10 different contact forms about failures, but it's done. And then from my box I had this student's packet, so I need to go input this grade because they were out in something. I don't know why I have this, to be honest with you, but yes. So I'm on episode 6 of Bridgerton, and it just makes me so like giddy, like watching Simon and Daphne's season again, because it's so like nostalgic, I guess, watching them, but whatever. So what am I going to do now? I've got 30 minutes until the kids are coming to my class for makeups. So, oh, you know what I need to do? I need to set up for the lab stations we're doing today. So let's go clean up my mess from earlier, and then we'll start setting up the stations for honors, and I'm going to show y'all what they're doing. All right, let's talk honors today. So today in honors, we're starting our unit 10, which is all about plants. The first thing I'm gonna do is give like a brief, like what is a plant and our different plants categories. So I'm about to draw this graphic organizer on the board so I don't have to keep this up, and I can put the eagles back. But basically I'm going to talk about non-vascular and vascular, how we've got our mosses, and then we've got our ferns, our non-flowering, so gymnosperms, and then our angiosperms. And then once we kind of get that little brief, what are our categories of plants, we're going to assign our, it's called the green scavenger hunt. Basically, we're assigning it today and tomorrow, so red day, blue day. And next week is all spring break, and then the week we get back, that Thursday, Friday, this project is due. For this project, they have to research non-vascular plants, vascular seedless, gymnosperms, angiosperms. They need to find a fruit, a monocot leaf, wind dispersed seeds, dicot flower, fibrous roots, and thigmotropism. So they have these 10 different prompts about plants, and they have to go find them in our environment and take selfies with them, and then make a slideshow with their selfie explaining what that plant is. And basically this is their big grade for the plant unit, is this assignment, and this is the first thing we're really assigning that they have to do at home. So that's why we're giving them 2 weeks to get it done, especially because they have to go find the plants. But we're going to talk about this after we explain the different categories, and then they are going to get a packet of station questions, and they're going to make their way through stations. I think I may actually make my desks into little groups for them for this, instead of using the back tables, so that they're kind of here. Basically each station has like a little paragraph of information, and they use that paragraph of information to answer about 3 questions per station. And it talks about seeds, leaves, flowers, stems, transport, roots is the first part, and then the second part is all of our tropism. So we talk about phototropism, gravitropism, thigmotropism, the hormones, so auxins, and plant growth. And one article is called Plants Are Hormonal, and the last one is all about how we prevent ripening for food consumption. So I'm going to go and make these different stations around the room right now for them, because it's 10:10, and that means my students who are coming to do makeups is going to be here in 10 minutes. So I want to see how much I can get done before they're here, so that I'm not moving desks and being all loud while they're doing the retest. So let's get after it. Alrighty, it is now 10:52. I've got about 25 minutes for lunch before my honors kids come. So I'm gonna turn y'all around and show y'all how I set up my desks for these lab stations today. So this is what I end up doing. I partnered up all the desks, and I set out the stations in order, like a little chain like that. So basically when the students come in, I'm gonna tell them to choose a partner, and then I'm going to set them at a station, and they'll get to work with their partner to do that station. And then when it's time to switch, they move to the next station, and so the whole class should just kind of be snaking through the whole time. And yes, so my students came to do their retest, and I already put in the grades for that, so that was accomplishing. And I need to use the restroom for the first time today, finally. So I'm going to go step to the restroom, and then I'm gonna go meet up with my co-teacher and enjoy lunch with her before I have to teach for the rest of the day. So let's go enjoy a bathroom break and lunch. I also drew my little graphic organizer of plants, so I'm going to discuss this at the start of class, and then discuss their project with them, and then they'll get to work on the stations for the rest of the class. Lunch is going to end in 2 minutes, so the kids are coming soon. So I'm ready for the stations and everything of that. Jonathan's actually using his lunch break to go pick me up Jersey Mike, so I'll be having that delivered to the school soon by him, which is always sweet. And then actually the best thing is I forgot, there is puppy therapy in the library today. So I just went to see the puppies, and I'll insert those clips of me holding a puppy, but it was so sweet. They were so chill, like all of them. This entire litter of puppies were just so calm, letting everyone hold them and being so sweet. So that was a good little midway boost that the school did for just the teachers. Like, students don't get to go see these puppies. But yeah, so let's push through for the rest of the day. So no more breaks until 2:35, and it's 11:20. So I'll check in with y'all at the end of the day when we conclude this Wednesday. Alrighty, it is 3:02, so the bell for school ends at 2:35, but I had a student come after school to make up a test. So she was in here taking her test, and then all the baseball boys came in here to bother me. So I gave them treats and sent them on their merry way to leave me alone so that I could go home. But my classroom is a little chaotic from honors, and my level kids are taking their test tomorrow. So I'm going to leave this for me to deal with tomorrow morning because I'm off for the first class of the day on blue days. So tomorrow I don't have a class when I get to work, so I'm gonna fix the tables, and then I'm gonna have to reset them up like this during my lunch for my afternoon honors classes. But we made it through hump day. We are at the tail end of getting to be done with the third 10 weeks and have a full week for a break. So yay! So I'm going to wrap up my classroom. We're going to shut down our screen. I've got my list of kids with missing work that I need to go hound tomorrow. We are going to turn off our projector. We're gonna pack our purse. Can't forget my book. I was reading at lunch. I'm currently reading Six of Crows. I actually started reading this, was super confused, so I stopped and I read the Shadowbone trilogy, and now I'm rereading the start of this, and it makes so much more sense now. So definitely read those three before Six of Crows. But all right, here's how I'm leaving my class. And that's a wrap for today's day in the life of a high school biology teacher. If you enjoyed this video or anything, definitely like or comment to let me know. And I'm going to go home, and I will definitely see y'all in the next one, which will probably be a week in my life studying for my Texas, the TEXES. So I have to take that test to be fully certified since I moved from Louisiana to Texas. And next week during spring break, I am studying and taking that test. So I will probably bring y'all along on a week of studying for my test. And yes, I hope you all have an amazing spring break, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.